Welcome to The Longest Turn. This is episode 80, AlphaBracketology A through D. My name is Tyler.
Hello, this is Kevin.
This is Tyson.
In this episode, we're going to talk about some of the games that we've been playing lately, and then we're going to do our board game bracketology, or Alpha Bracket, March Madness style
Right.
thing.
What you said.
Yes,
that's
we
right.
announced this in our last episode. Basically, we picked a bunch of our favorite games that start with the letters A, B, C, and D.
Yep.
And we're going to do follow-on episodes with other letters. But for this one, we're going to determine who's the winner.
The best A game, the best B game, etc.
Yep.
Definitively.
Definitively.
I mean, yep.
For
Unquestionably.
us.
Yeah.
Yep. There's some.
And everyone else.
Yes. And
You better believe it.
and there'll be a winner because we've got people voting on our Discord. That winner will receive a box of a game or two.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So we're hoping a lot of participation. Yeah. Submit your thoughts about the best games here. Right?
Yeah. And if you missed out on this episode because you're a hoser, join a later bracketology episode.
Don't insult our
That's
listeners.
the way to get people to join the competition is to start insulting them. Trash talk right out the gate.
It's like one of those restaurants that you go into and people are paid to. I mean, the whole theme is
comedy type of
that
it,
they
yeah.
insult you the whole time, like your waiter and stuff. You guys ever done that? I haven't.
I have not done that. Have you done that?
That is a thing. No, I haven't done it.
That
I have
doesn't
a
sound
very
fun to me.
fragile ego. That won't work for me.
That doesn't sound fun. Why would I want to pay for that?
What do you want?
Well, I was told outside that...
Don't give me that, you snotty-faced heap of parrot droppings.
What? Look, I came here for an argument. I'm not going to just stand it.
Oh, I'm sorry, but this is abuse.
Oh, I see. Well, that explains it.
Yes. You want room 12A just along the corridor.
Yeah.
I'd rather
This
just
is an
eat
argument?
and have a nice meal and have a nice server, but that's just me.
This
Yeah.
is merely a contradiction.
Was that
Quoting
is that from something?
Monty Python. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is new for us. We don't do a ton of like giveaways, or historically we haven't, but we felt the desire to give some games away, and we thought this was a good way to do it, I think.
Yeah, our
right.
Shelves are filling up a little
That
bit.
might be part of it.
Yeah. I'm running out of space. It's funny. My in-laws just came over and they're visiting from out of town, and I have stacks and stacks of games. You guys have seen them outside my game room.
Yes.
As we get more review copies, the stacks get bigger and bigger. My wife comes downstairs and is like, "This looks terrible."
Yeah.
Jammed them all in the game room, and I can't even walk in there anymore.
The only reason we can record on this table is because I removed all the other stacks of games to my game table. We're recording at a half-filled table of board games.
Yeah, I'm almost looking over a bunch of games at Kevin, right? Like I can barely see him.
So we want to share the love.
Yeah,
right?
but that doesn't,
Yeah.
the way
No.
that sounds is it sounds like we're about to give away some crappy games,
Yeah.
which is not at all.
This is
what
not a
is gonna
Tyler
happen.
thing. I want to, trade games
Yeah,
within the
exactly.
game room.
Just because
a crappy
you guys
game.
don't understand the concept of making trades.
We have games that
Give me
are
a game.
in shrink
Yeah.
I came to trade, not to admire his collection.
that we've played. We
Yes.
have multiple copies of that
Exactly.
that are going to be great, and so
Yeah.
yeah.
And maybe a couple that were de-shrinked but never played.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Now Tyler does sound like he's just going to try and unload a bunch of stuff he can't get rid of to people.
No. We were talking about this before. We got two copies of Free Ride
Yes.
from Rio Grande Games, and me, like a dummy, I went and opened both of them because I thought it was a different game.
Yeah, it
right?
wasn't me
So-
just trying to pawn off one. On
Right.
someone,
So
Tyson.
we have not
Just
played
so
this game
excited
yet.
that we've opened too many games. You need that new box smell.
Oh yeah. Oh, I sniffed the box. Believe me.
You stole that from someone.
Speaking of, there is a new podcast out there that I saw.
They're not called.
recently.
They're not the box sniffers.
They're
are they?
called box farts, which was one of the potential ideas that Tyler came up with for the podcast name. I haven't
don't
listened to them.
remember that.
They could be great.
I don't
but
remember box fart.
That was-
I do
That
remember.
was one of my submissions.
That was one of your early submissions before the longest term.
Who came up with box sniffers?
I can't remember, but
I think I may have come
Yeah.
up with that one.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we didn't go with that.
Yeah,
name.
that doesn't sound great.
it doesn't age well, I don't think.
Interesting times in board game land.
For sure.
Yeah.
In Boardlandia. as well. I was a little
and Simon and
All the tariff talk, everything going on with the difficulties in being a publisher or even a board game store, right? Boardlandia.
yeah, I've spent
Stegmaier
thousands
suing
of
Trump,
dollars
you
at
know.
Boardlandia, and they have had amazing customer service. So I'm sad
Totally
to see
agree.
them closing doors.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you're a board game publisher or a local game store and you're struggling, we appreciate what you do. We'd love-
Unless you run off with $1.4 million worth of pledges and don't actually print games for people.
There is some frustration
That's not
going
cool.
on, but yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard time for
I
everybody.
think we'll get to that later on.
I saw that. I was like, oh, that's going to trigger something. One of our bracket entries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So should we talk about some of the games we've been playing lately?
Yeah, I'll
do it.
start. I'll start with so we got a game from Le Potager and Lucky Duck Games. I believe that Lucky Duck Games is the U.S. importer of the French publisher's games, and we got a copy of this game called Backstories. I'd never heard of Backstories. It's not one that I was looking at, but this one in particularly is like a series. So think like the Exit series. There's a series of games here that are kind of, you're trying to solve a crime or trying to escape or go through this narrative experience. This is a game designed by Jules Massaud and Anthony Perron, and there's art done by Gong Studios. This is, like I said, kind of like an adventure-style choose-your-own-adventure game. And I've played a lot of that kind of game, choose-your-own-adventure. I think Backstories has the potential to have made this the most streamlined, effective way to do a choose-your-own-adventure game. Essentially what this game is it comes in a box. And the box has like an easy pull-off top that is about a fourth of the box size, so all your cards are popping out of the top and you can see them, and they're numbered from like 1 to 189 or something cards like that. I think there's a bunch of different cards in here. There are 156 cards total, and some of those are transparent cards, and then most of them are double-sided cards. What you're trying to do in this game is go through and get a successful outcome. There are multiple branching narrative paths that you're going down, and I think you could almost play this game. You pull a card out, the very first card, and you read it, and the text on it tells you what's going on. Sometimes it'll tell you to flip it over, sometimes it won't, and you'll go through and just follow along. You could almost play this game without reading the rules. I didn't even finish reading the rules, and I was just like, I think I get the gist of this. And the rules are like a front to back sheet of paper. So that's the total contents, 156 cards and a double-sided piece of paper with rules in it. And you go through it, and it has all of these different things. So it is the same story. So like this is one of those games like an Exit or Escape Room where you're going to play it and then pass it along probably. But you're going to go through it, and the Emerald Wedding Anniversary is the scenario. It's basically Mission Impossible. There's a face maker in here, like the first Mission Impossible. You're going in and putting a face maker on and trying to take on you're trying to knock out a specific guy to take his identity and then go and steal something from him without getting caught and then escaping. That's the entirety of the game. It is this like very well done, I think, choose your own adventure system. There are items that you can get, and on the backs of every card, some of these cards will have like a slot in them. So like they'll have, for example, I'm looking at the X-ray glasses, and the X-ray glasses have a portion of the card that is carved out of it that has a specific window on it. And if you want to use that card, you have to slide it under a scene card and then flip over that card, and it'll tell you a specific thing on the back of that card that you get to see, or there's some narrative in there that you're doing, and you're trying to discern what's going on and what actions to take. And then sometimes it'll say, okay, you can do this X or you can do Y, right? And you'll make these choices, and depending on what you're going to do, you're going to end up going through this this scenario and making multiple different choices. And the first time I played this, as you're going through, there are ways that you can get beaten up or like attacked or stabbed or shot at. And I actually played this with my 7-year-old. And at first I was having him read the cards and like interacting with me. And then I realized, oh, there's some language in here that's probably, there's a couple F-bombs that were dropped. And I was like, okay, you're not reading that anymore.
Oh, okay.
There is. So that's
good to know.
Be aware of if you're playing this with people. I ended up starting reading it and then like censoring it for my kids. It's nothing too graphic or violent most of the time, but it does have some language in there. And I haven't seen everything, so maybe there's some stuff in here that is more violent or overt than you may want to play with your kids. But I felt like it was okay playing with my son, my 7-year-old, and we were going through and played it, and they have like I said, transparent layers and stuff like that. And so like if you get a face maker, you might be able to put somebody else's face on your character card and like do some fun things like that. But as I'm going through, I'm flipping my card and like getting beaten up throughout it. And you get to a point where I'm like, I think I'm going to die soon, but I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. And I ended up, my first play of it, I totally died really early on before I completed the mission. I played it a second time, and it really doesn't change up. So if you're playing this game and you want to see like diversity and change in it, there's not a lot of that. There is you're going to play it and you're going to see the same things, but you can choose different paths, so you can kind of have known what happened. It's like going back to a save state in a video game, right? And then retrying the mission, having gained some knowledge and trying to go through and fix things. So I like this game. I thought it was really fun. I would be more than happy to try more in this system. I think it's a fun experience, and I'd recommend giving it a try if you are interested in choose your own adventure style things.
So I notice it says 1 to 6 players on there. Is that what it says?
Yes. And that
is that too many people around the table?
Seems like it would be, but I don't know.
I mean, I can't stand playing the exit games with more than like 3 people.
2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
No, you're going to get the exact
spot.
same thing. And I think the player count on there is completely pointless. It's a 1-player game at the end of the day.
But
you can play
that
everybody can
group discussion
correct.
And decisions.
Exactly that.
Right.
So like 6 is a arbitrary cap that doesn't really matter.
How big's your table?
But exactly, how many people do you want?
100 people can play this game at the same time.
We're putting it up on a projector.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I think this is fun to play with
cool.
a group, maybe 2 or 3. But
yeah,
I liked it on its own. And again, it's one of those games that like I'd happily I'd play it and then I'd pass it along to somebody else to say, hey, get the experience out of this game. It's fun.
Has your son been dropping any F-bombs around the house?
Fortunately, I drew
Good question,
the card
yeah.
before he saw that word.
Okay.
And I saw the word and I was like, nope, we're not doing that one.
Nice.
Nice.
Did he like it though?
He did. He enjoyed it. And I played it a second time when he was outside playing in the yard. And he came back in and he was like, oh, you started it without me?
Well, that's a good
nice.
sign.
So,
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. I'll go next. So we got a game sent to us from Rio Grande Games called Fishing. This is designed by Friedman Friese. So that's why it's called Fishing. Because it starts with an F.
Speaking of F words.
that was a transition.
Dang it. Missed opportunity. Well, I suck at transitions, so it is what it is. So this is a trick-taking game, and we've been playing some fantastic trick-taking games lately. This is another great trick-taking game. It adds a unique twist that I'll go over, which is a lot of fun. So the game comes with 100 cards. There are, I believe, 4 different suits. We've got an octopus. We've got a seahorse. I think there's a seagull in there and a crab. Okay. So you have these different suits. There's also cards that have stars on them. And to start the game, you remove all of the cards with stars. There's either 1 star or up to 5 stars. And you sort them by how many stars are on the cards. And then you put the 5s on the bottom and then you put the 1s on the top. And then the rest of the cards, you're going to possibly take some out depending on player count, and you'll shuffle them out to all of the players. So like in a three-player game, for example, you're going to start the game with 10 cards. All right. And then it's basic trick-taking rules. Whoever starts is going to lead, and then everybody after that has to play the suit that is led, or a wild card, which is a fish, but you don't have those to start the game. All right. So the winner of the trick takes the trick, and they catch it basically and put it on their net. All right. And you play the whole round until all the cards are gone. Then you take all of the cards that are caught in your net and you place them on your boat. And those are the cards, and this is where it gets interesting. Those are the cards that you're going to draw for your next hand.
Ooh,
all
so
right?
that's the catch.
That's the catch. That's the twist. But wait, there's more. All right. So when you draw cards from your boat, if you don't have enough cards, then you start taking cards from that stack that you made.
Little, like market deck almost.
Yeah, with the stars on them. And they're cooler cards than the ones you start with, right? They're cards that go up to 18 instead of just 10.
How do you get those ones?
So when you start the game, you have those cards with stars on them. That goes in the middle of a table. If you don't have enough cards from your boat to draw into your hand, you start taking off of that deck instead to get up to 10 cards.
Which really means essentially, depending on how you're playing the hand, the tricks, right? If you're not taking enough tricks to win, that boat is not going to fill up at the end, so you won't have as many. So you have the decision, do I want to not win a lot of tricks in this round so that I could potentially draw more powerful cards and go, or do I win a lot of tricks right now and score points?
Yep, because you get points at the end of every round based on how many cards you have collected. So there's that cool balance, right?
Of like falling behind in a Mario Kart race, so you get all the good stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are swings in this game,
Absolutely.
right? Like it's interesting. And not only do those cards in the middle have higher values, they also have cool special abilities that you can do too, right? So for example, there's one that's a 0. You're not going to win a whole lot with a 0, right? But when you play a 0, at the end of that trick, you get to take any card from that trick and put it into your, you catch it, it goes into your net. So you could lose the trick, but take like an 18 or something, right?
Somebody put the card they've been working towards the whole game,
Yes.
a really high trump card, right?
Right.
And you're like, nope, that one's mine now.
Yeah, which is always hilarious for everybody except the person that gets stolen. Right, so that was cool. There's cards that you have to pass cards to the left when they get played. There's one that's kind of mean. It's -3 points. That one gets played. There's a few other things, other cards that you can collect when you're taking from that middle stack, which is just a lot of fun, right? So you play, and the number of cards that you're drawing, at least for a 3-player game, continues to increase as the game goes on. So it's not always 10. It goes up to 13 in a 3-player game. You play 8 rounds total. And at the end of 8 rounds, whoever has the most points wins. That's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah. So there's a whole ebb and flow in this game of
Yes.
what rounds am I winning tricks and what rounds am I willing to lose
Almost
the
like a
tricks?
tide coming in and
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Oh, this
Yeah.
it's so thematic.
There
Yes.
it is.
Yes.
But it feels really interesting. And that first, I've only played one game of this. I think Kevin, you've only.
I've only
one of
played that one time. Yep.
And when we played, we ended up not knowing what do we do? How do we play this game? And where do we win? Where do we lose? I started by being like, I'm not going to win a lot of tricks because I want to take a bunch of cards.
Right.
And then I realized, but they become middling cards that I've taken as the game progresses. So maybe I do want to win early on to have a high point front load, and then kind of back off towards the mid game and try and take a bunch of new cards to increase it. It had this like almost legacy style feeling, campaign style
it did
experience.
in a 40-minute game.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I felt like I was playing, like I was building a deck that was gonna have a long-term experience, and it was really interesting. And I also really liked that, like with like the zeros and other stuff, you are trying to save as in any trick taker game, right? You're trying to save your cards so that you can play them in the order that gives you the best opportunities as they go on. There's a point in a lot of trick takers where you're like, okay, I can play this card now. Do I play this card now and take this trick and see if I can continue winning the rest of the rounds and take the rest of the tricks? And that happened a lot in this game. But what was interesting is you're trying to keep track of as well what cards people have played in previous rounds.
Yes.
Are they likely to have drawn those cards again? Because
Yes.
maybe they're getting buried in their boat and maybe they did or didn't draw them. So is that going to come up?
Like, I know you have the 0, and
Yes.
you better not play it now because I'm playing my best card. You know?
And that was so fascinating
Yeah,
to me
it
because
was.
I was like,
It was.
okay, now might be the time, or did I drain your colors of that hand specifically
Yeah.
so that I can play the good card now and then just kind of take it? And then when somebody steals cards that you were like, I was saving this up for, it's like, oh no, my strategy was built around that
Yeah.
card. And it was really interesting.
I love that. There is a memory aspect to the game, and there's card counting and what people are collecting, and something's coming up, and that whole tension is just great. I think it does a lot of cool things, and we've talked about it before. If it's a trick taker, it's got to do something different
Yes.
because there's so many trick takers out there, and this one was completely different than anything I'd played in that genre of games. Right?
I've been thinking about this trick taker since we played it over a week ago now, and I want to play more of it.
Right.
And I'm excited to. It does play a little bit longer than normal trick takers. So
It does.
It's almost like
But it's
a
that
middleweight game,
legacy
right?
style feel, right?
It
It's
does,
like
right.
You're invested in the game. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it is a heavier trick taker than a casual trick taker.
It's
would
almost
be.
like Cat in the Box, where it plays a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, oh,
thinking
yeah.
it was like Sears catalog.
Yeah,
kind of.
you mentioned Sears
Okay.
catalog
Right?
because of all the different power.
Because
right?
a lot of the cards exactly have like these things that like change it up, and so when they come out for the first time and you haven't seen them before, you're like, oh no, how did that one play? And we had to figure some of that stuff out. But it felt like meteor of a game in a small package, and I like it's a really small box. It's not.
Yeah, it's
it
just-
looks like a casual trick taker, but there was more meat on the bones than I expected out of this one.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good game, so check it out if you like trick takers. That's fishing.
Speaking of cats in the box,
Oh, transition?
so another game that we received from Amigo is Schrödinger's Cats. This is, of course, based on the famous experiment that demonstrates the idea in quantum physics that tiny particles can be in two states at once until they're observed. So is there a dead cat or a live cat in the box? Or in the case of this game, is the box empty? So this is a push your luck game, came out in 2015, designed by Heather O'Neill, Christopher O'Neill, and Adriel Wilson. It's published by Amigo. It's a 2 to 6 player game that plays in 10 to 30 minutes. I do not know how this game could possibly take 30 minutes.
Right.
If you are playing with 3 players or less, you have 2 lives. And if you're playing with more than 3 players, each player only has 1 life. So basically, it's kind of like Liar's Dice and a little bit of Skull. Everybody has a hand of cards in their hand. In the first round, it's 6 cards each. You are bidding on how many alive, dead, or empty box cards you think are in all of the hands that are at the table. And so on your turn, you're gonna you might say, hey, I think there's 8 alive cats. If I bid 8 live cats on Tyson's turn, he's either going to call or he's going to bid something higher. And on the track, the live, dead, and dead cats alternate along with the boxes. So there's very few empty box cards in the deck. So like a bid of 4 boxes is slightly more than like 8 dead or alive cats. So basically, you keep making bigger bids until somebody calls, and then it's like Skull, like one of you is either right or wrong, or like Liar's Dice, one of you is either right or wrong. Whoever's wrong loses a life. If it's their last life, then they're out of the game. One of the other things, there's a couple of other tweaks to it. When you make a bid, you can put proof cards in front of you of that bid type. So if I bid 8 live cats and I put 2 live cats in front of me, I can discard 2 cards from my hand and try and get rid of the dead cats that Tyson's been bidding on, and draw 2 new cards and try and seed my hand with more live cats, right? So there's that, and then there is Physicats, which are very punny, based off of famous physicists and scientists and
Marie Curie.
Yes.
Curie.
Yeah. And there's they each have a unique ability so you get one of those that you get to use during the game. This game plays in 5 to 7 to 8 minutes, really quick. After you play a round with 6 cards, the next round has 5 cards in everybody's hands. Then you deal out 4 in the next rounds to each hand. So the game plays really quick. It fits in that space with Skull and Liar's Dice and some of those got a little bit of bluffing, a little bit of bidding, and trying to decide who has what. And I don't know. It was a fun little game.
Yeah, there was. I played this for the first time right before we recorded this, right? And I think that I love Skull, right? I think Skull is phenomenal. This gives you the same type of vibe. So if you like Skull, I think you'd like this. There is a little bit more overhead, I think, in this than there is Skull.
Yeah.
Skull is pretty straightforward, right?
But it's still really simple.
But this is, yeah, exactly. So like it's slightly more involved than Skull. But like I think it was really interesting to see. We played, and I had Marie Puri as my ability cat, right? And she was able to destroy all the cats that were already put on the table that were alive and get rid of them, and kind of just completely throw a twist in how the game was playing. And I could see I really like those cards in the game because it does throw a wrench in your plans.
Yep.
And your lives are precious, especially like you only have 2 lives in a 3-player game, right? Like you have to. If you do it at the right time, those things could really shake things up.
Yes. So I had one that eliminated the Heisenberg cats from play. The Heisenberg cats there's 4 wild ones in the deck. I had one in my hand, and Kevin happened to have two in his hand, which I didn't know. But I played that, and then I called his your bid, right?
Right.
And because I had eliminated the wilds from play, or from the final scoring, I won that hand. Otherwise, he would have won it. So
I lost it by 1 cat.
Yeah.
Which was the perfect time to play it.
3 of the 4 out of the deck of like 52 cards or whatever were in play at that time was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun little quick game. It's available at like Barnes and Noble for $14.99. Go check it out on their website. You can order it there.
It's fun.
Yeah. If it's in that space of a filler, right before everybody else shows up to game night, or at the end of a long, play of Voidfall.
Yeah.
Put this out on the table to cleanse your
Palate
brain.
cleanser, absolutely.
It's not going to win any alphabet brackets, but it's a good game. It's a lot of fun.
got to S's yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I'm speaking too soon. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Schrödinger's cats.
Well, you said this one fits in a specific space, right? Schrödinger's cat. Speaking of fitting things in specific spaces, the game I want to talk about next is called Orapa Mine. This is a game designed by Jung-hee Choi and Wonjin Gil. They're Korean publisher of Plate Games. And this is a game that I played only on Board Game Arena so far, but I've played 7 games of this so far. And I'm really enjoying this. This is a deduction game, pure and simple. And if you've listened to this podcast for any amount of time, I love deduction games. Cryptid, Search for Planet X. We played Intent to Kill recently, right? I love deduction style games where you have limited information, you're asking clues of the game, and the game is giving you back responses, and you're trying to figure it out before somebody else figures it all out. That's what this game is. In this game, however, if you've ever played the Laser Quest kind of mine game, it's a gimmicky game that you can buy at like Walmart or whatever, but you put the mirrors on the board, and then you shoot a laser through, and the laser goes through and comes out the maze at the end. That's what this game is, essentially, is that there are shapes geometric shapes that are put onto a grid, and they are angled in a way that if you were to send a laser through, they're going to reflect off of the surfaces of these geometric shapes and come out. Each of the shapes are going to have different colors on them: white, red, yellow, blue, etc. And when they reflect, and if it hits off a white one and then it hits off of a blue one, it's going to exit part of the grid as light blue instead of a solid blue. So you're getting information. You're asking the game, if I shine a laser from row A, where does it come out? And it's going to tell you it's going to come out in column 8, and it's going to be blue, right? So like you're trying to figure out, based off of the patterns of where these lasers are entering and exiting, where are the shapes placed on this grid? And you're trying to do this before everybody else. Like I said, I've only played this on Board Game Arena. In fact, I actually went and I bought this game and put it in my cart, checked out, did the whole 9 yards after having played it on Board Game Arena a number of times. And then I went and I reread the rules, and I realized I did not want to play this on the table, and I actually canceled my order.
It seems like it'd be a lot better digitally.
After
playing
to play
it
it on the table, you have to have a dedicated clue giver.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's the thing that I don't like about it, is that there is not yet that I can see, and maybe there's an expansion I haven't explored what it adds, but like there was no automated way to get those clues, so that at least one player playing would have to be your designated clue giver. They'd set up the grid pattern and do that, and then people would ask questions to them, and they would give responses. Yes, it comes out.
They're
here
facilitating the game. It's like a blood on the clock tower. Type
exactly,
thing, right?
like a dungeon master, or like exactly like a social deduction kind of werewolf, blood on the clock tower.
Yeah, who wants to do that at game night?
Right.
I mean, if it's like a grandpa Korean halabaji sitting around with his grandkids, cool.
Yeah.
But who wants to do it at game night? I don't.
And that was my feeling, is that like I really want this game physically, but I want it in the form that it is on Board Game Arena, in that like the game is going to give me the feedback. But as I thought about it when I purchased it, I was like, I don't know that I want to subject anybody else to have to just sit there and give the clues or answers. And I don't want to do that.
Here's what you do. You just, like what we did, you get around a table with your tablet or computer, and you just play. If you want to have that experience together, that's what you do, right?
Yeah. And I thought that was a really fun way to do it. But I also really think there's advantages to it on Board Game Arena. It made me think of the conversation that we had, Kevin, about Intent to Kill being on Board Game Arena. There is no chance on Board Game Arena that we're going to screw this up, right?
Yes.
There is absolute chance, even if you have a dedicated clue giver, that somebody asks something and then they make a blunder, right?
Yeah, not intentional. It just
bounces off 3 shapes.
Exactly. And they skipped one, or exactly.
Column.
Yeah. And then it ruins the game.
It ruins the experience. Yeah. And the more I think about it, I love deduction style games, but I think their digital implementation may be the best way to ensure the best possible experience of it.
Wait a minute. Would I like Cryptid if it was a digital?
That's right.
There is no chance.
Turing Machine on BGA is awesome.
Exactly.
It's a great experience. And I think this is perfect for BGA.
I love it.
Yeah.
I wish there was I tried to think, is there a way that you could make this work? And I was actually thinking about backstories and the system they have with the windowed cards that like says, if I guess this, it's going to give me specific answers on the back of a card. I think there might be a way to implement Orapa Mine as a physical board game style that like doesn't require the clue giver. And I might be more interested at that point. But as of right now, I'm loving this game. I think it's phenomenal. But I think I'm content with it on Board Game Arena. So yeah, that's Orapa Mine.
Nice. All right, so I don't even know how to talk about this next game. Really, it's a heavy game. This is Star Trek Captain's Chair. Okay, this is based on the Imperium system. It's designed by Nigel Buckle and David Turtsey, two fantastic designers, right? This is published by WizKids. I'm a huge fan of Star Trek. I love the movies. I love the TV shows. I think it's just a fantastic world that has been built. it's great. This
Universe, as it were. I mean,
universe, actually, universe,
Multi-universe.
Yes, exactly.
multidimension.
Multiverse. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. In this game, I'm going to read just a little snippet from the rule book here, just to give a little bit of theme. It said, it's the last decade of the 32nd century, and Starfleet Academy has reopened its doors. Aspiring young cadets from all over the recovering Federation are flocking to its halls to learn and become the future's great explorers. Awaiting them is a new challenge, a simulation programmed with everything and everyone of note from the past millennium. So you're a cadet, you're in a simulation, and everything from the past millennium is fair game, and you can learn from all of these captains.
It's not just the Kobayashi Maru anymore. It's everything.
That's right. That's right.
The Kobayashi Maru scenario frequently wreaks havoc with students and equipment.
Which I think that sets it up so cool that everything in the Star Trek universe is fair game, right? You're in a simulation. So in Captain's Chair, you're one of the captains. You're Jean-Luc Picard. You're Cisco. You're Burnham. You're one of these famous captains, and you're playing as
Burnham's in there?
Burnham's in there.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah, Discovery made it.
Yep.
And I know that's some people love it, some people hate it.
Yeah, but I like Burnham as a captain. He's one of my favorites.
Michael Burnham. Yep.
Or she. Sorry.
She. It is she. So
what's happening?
The way you haven't watched Discovery. Yeah. So the way this game works is it's a deck builder. You start off with a hand of cards, like in any deck builder. You have what's called reserve cards, and then you have development cards. And these are the cards that are going to come into your deck later in the game, along with other cards that you can buy, right? The reserve deck has kind of cool cards that have synergies with whoever you're playing. It's very asymmetric. Every captain that you play focuses on different things, and you have to learn the strategies of each captain and that deck. Okay, so you get these reserve cards. The way that you get those is you have 5 cards on your turn. You play your turn. You discard those cards. On your next turn, you're going to draw 5 more cards. As soon as your draw deck is empty, you shuffle your discard pile, just like any normal deck builder. It becomes your draw deck, and then you take one of the reserve cards, put it on top. That's the next card that you're going to draw. You're trying to get through those reserve cards so you can get to the developments, because the developments are super powerful cards. They're the ones that are going to drive your strategy. They're going to, help you win the game ultimately. Okay. The general game turn is you go through a resupply step. If there are things in your tableau of cards that you have that allow you to resupply, you get those things. Then you go through a control step. There are these neutral planets that you're going to be sending away teams to and ships to. And if you control those planets, then you get those planets. You get some sort of control bonus potentially. And there's things that those planets could do for you. All right. And then you take your turn. On your turn, you have, I think they're isolinear chips. They're the data little things. Those are your actions, which is really cool. You have 3 of those with the potential of maybe getting more on your turn. The cards have play abilities, and if there's a little icon that says you have to use an action, you use that action. Some cards are free play. You don't have to use up an action. So you're looking at this hand of cards and you're trying to figure out the order of operations of what you're going to do to make your turn the most efficient possible. And I'm not going to go through all of what you can do, but it's just this puzzle. Every time you get this hand of cards of, okay, what am I doing? What's my overarching strategy? How can I, get this turn to work out the best for me and hurt my opponent at the same time? There's attack cards, very thematic. The Klingons are going to be attacky. Worf is, going to attack and send away teams, and you're trying to gain control of all of this stuff. Every card you play, you can tell that the designers love Star Trek because every card you play is thematic, and what you're doing is very thematic.
Are there like specific episodes that they take cards from, or is it just the broader?
No, there's tribbles in there,
Okay.
right? From the original Star Trek. You take them from, it's cards from specific episodes and things that happen.
Does that have the
For
one where
sure.
they blow up the Death Star? Or?
Yeah.
That's right. You're not a Star Wars
Is Will
fan.
Wheaton in the game?
as a promo.
Yes,
He is.
That's awesome.
He's
great.
a promo in the game. Yeah, so you have cards that you can buy that are ally cards, person cards, cargo cards, and ship cards. And I think he's one of the person cards that you can get, which is really cool.
So this really excites me as a Star Trek fan, right? Like
Yeah.
I love Star Trek, and I've watched most episodes of almost every series.
Yeah.
But if I'm not a Star Trek fan, like mechanically, how is this game playing? And would you be as drawn to this game?
Would you be more lost in this or in Mistborn, the deck building game, if you weren't a fan
Great.
of either of them?
Question. This one.
Really?
Well,
Really? That surprises me.
well, Lost is in,
Or maybe not appreciate the.
I don't know. It may be a toss up, right?
Yeah.
But I think mechanically this game, I think if you're not a Star Trek fan, it's amazing. Like mechanically, I think it's fantastic. I get more enjoyment out of it because I'm a Star Trek fan and noticing things like, oh, look, this Borg cube came, or, because I remember those episodes from Next Generation and Picard and stuff, and so seeing this stuff, I get more enjoyment out of it. But the mechanics of the game are so good that even if you're not a fan, I think you're going to enjoy this. It's a fantastic single player game. Have not played against the bot. And Tyson, I know you're not a big fan of bots, but there is cadet mode where you're just playing your captain's deck to figure it out and to figure out how you play. And you're trying to get a high score. And if you get to 70 points, then it's funny. You get to 70, it says, you know how to play the game now. You get to 100 and it says, oh, you're getting pretty good. You get to 120 and okay, you've really figured out this deck. The first 2 times I played, I got to 50 something. Third time I played, I got to 74, I think it was. And I'm like, I can play the game now, but seeing that progression and actually having to really think about my deck and my captain and how to get points was a satisfying experience and really cool.
Well, and you mentioned that they've got the bot mode, right? Like, and playing against the bot, and that's. I probably wouldn't buy this one personally just for a solo experience, right? Like I want to experience it with people because you're right. Most of the time I don't love like bot experiences in games all that much because I feel like there's a lot of upkeep and they're like, it's not this solo experience I'm really looking for necessarily.
It's not really streamlined, right?
But we have a friend of the podcast, Carl from Purple Moose Plays, who has got his YouTube channel. He's done a couple videos on this game and the bot mode, and he was saying that he really liked it. So I don't know. Like I tend to like what Carl likes, and like I trust his opinion. So I don't know.
And I've watched a few videos about the bot mode, and it doesn't seem too complicated, right? Like you're flipping over a number of cards from the captain that you're playing. You're looking at the traits, and then based on the traits, you do a few things, right? So I think there's a few extra rules there as well. So it's not super streamlined, but I think once you play it once or twice, it probably goes pretty quick, right? And it's pretty, it makes sense, I think, is what you're doing.
I think I'm hearing it's an amazing system. And if you love Star Trek, you're going to love it even more, but it's still a great game, even if you don't. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
I loved watching Next Generation. I watched all the old movies. I've watched the Chris Pine ones. That's about it. I didn't watch.
Not a Voyager fan.
I could never get into Voyager.
I loved Voyager.
I loved watching reruns of Next Generation late at night growing up.
I love all the new stuff. Right?
I think
Strange New Worlds may be my favorite Star Trek series ever. I really love Strange New Worlds.
Did JJ ruin Star Trek for you a little bit?
No, I thought they were good.
No.
I thought the reboot was good.
Well, and they did I thought he did a good job at making it a different universe, right? Like it was.
I thought that was cool.
It deviates from the timeline.
The Cumberbatch one.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
Like, oh, it's not Khan. It's not Khan. It's totally Khan.
It's totally Khan. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I like, Chris Pine as Kirk and Zachary Quinto as he's fantastic.
I think he's a
as
fantastic
Spock. I think the casting in that
Scotty
the
is awesome.
reboot was amazing. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I think they got another one coming. I think
I think I've heard that they've
been trying
they're
for
still
a
pushing
long
for it. Simon
time.
Pegg is still pushing.
He's been
for it.
directing the last couple of them, right?
Yeah.
I like Simon Pegg as both an actor and a director, but I don't know. I'm okay for seeing what comes next beyond this version of Star Trek. I'd be fine with moving on to the next one, but I'm also still excited. I'll watch it for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I mean, back to the game. If you like Star Trek, if you like heavy deck builders, then because this is a heavy deck builder, it's a 3.97 difficulty, which is beefy, right?
Yeah.
And it takes commitment.
Like the other Imperium games, it's not something you sit down, explain the rules with 4 people at the table and expect to get through it in 4 hours.
And here, this is one thing to be aware of before you get into this game. It is a commitment, right? I talked about that cadet training mode, and it seems kind of funny that you're training to play your deck, but you almost have to do that to figure out your deck and to figure out how it works, that's a commitment, right? Yeah. And then you have to get the right group of people to play it with and play it with those people repeatedly. So, because if you don't, it's just not going to be a satisfying experience, I don't think. So go into it knowing that it's a commitment. You're going to have to put some time into it, but it's satisfying when you do. So I don't know. There's that to be aware of, I guess.
Mix and match this with Imperium?
No, it's different.
You show up on a planet and the Aztecs are there? Or
I hope they come out with that expansion. That would be amazing. But no.
I don't think so.
There's different mechanics. I think it's a lot of similarities, but I think there's some different mechanics there. So anyway, Star Trek Captain's Chair. Go check it out if you.
Sorry, I'm just thinking that's a weird holodeck away mission kind of a episode. Is what
with the holodeck, you could do anything.
That's right.
Wow, I could cross over to any game, really. Yeah,
I think one of my favorite. Well, never mind. Well, we can go on.
One of your favorite. No, continue.
The drunk Next Generation episode.
It's like episode 2 or 3 or something.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
When you started rewatching it with Shelley, I think you sent it to me.
Yeah, there's a
clip or something.
There's a clip where I think it's Picard, and he's like, and it's a little bit cringy but hilarious.
Yeah.
But that episode made me laugh. I can't stand the Q episodes after a while.
You don't like those.
I don't mind them later on, but that first 2 hour
early ones, yeah.
That's a little
He's a
too
big
much.
storyline in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
That is Star Trek Captain's Chair.
Awesome. I'm going to talk about another copy we received. This one is from Devere. It's called Fritanga. Takes place in their blind business world. Have you guys played Blind Business from Devere?
I have not. No.
I haven't played that either. Basically, you are playing as a fried food before you're fried. You're trying not to get fried. So I was a mozzarella stick, and you're just trying to eliminate the other players over the course of this game. It is designed by Jose Lucora and Rafael Morales, and the artist is Meeple Foundry and Carlos Ureta.
This theme is way more terrifying than your Dragon Child game.
That was Kevin's Dragon Child.
Oh yeah,
that was mine.
Kevin's.
Yeah, I had the penguin.
You had the penguin one,
Right. Yeah, this is terrifying.
You build this deck based on the number of players, and there's good cards, and there's mean cards, and there's bad cards. A bad card being like a geyser, right? So,
Of oil?
Of oil.
Yes. Yeah, that's a bad card.
This is horrifying.
So you build this grid on the table of cards, and it's you try to make it as square as possible. Let's say it ends up being 6 by 6, right? You each start on different points with your little figure, your little cardboard figure, on the edge of the board somewhere, or on the edge of the playing area. And on your turn, you can play as many cards as you want from your hand. You don't start out with any cards. And then you move 1 or 2 spaces, okay? And when you move to the next space, you flip over whatever that card is, okay? If it has the hand symbol on it, you're going to take that card into your hand after you move off of it. If it has the explosion symbol on it, it's going to have an effect, and it'll either go away immediately, or when you move off of it, that card will get discarded. Immediately being like a geyser blows up and kills you and the surrounding spaces. So imagine you're moving your guy across this board that represents some kind of layer above a frying vat, and you're trying not to fall in. So it's the basket, I guess. It's sitting up above.
Yeah.
And so as you move on your turns, you're picking up cards that you were standing on previously. And so the board is getting smaller. There's getting holes in it. And it becomes this tactical game of how do I make so-and-so fall into the frying vat, right? There's cards that let you steal cards from other players. There's cards that let you kind of wipe out half the map or swap places or not take a turn, which is good if you have nowhere to move. Because if you have to move and you can't, you fall into the vat and die. There's cards that give you a second chance. And then even if say someone stole one of those, or you use the one out of your hand to already revive yourself once, on your next turn, after you've died again, you can flip over any card on the board or on the table, and if it's a basket, then you're saved and you're back in. So you're just trying to eliminate the other players as best you can and survive. And I had a blast with this. I thought it was really fun. I played it 3-player with my family. And it was a great time. It plays in about 20, 25 minutes. It's 3 to 6 players, free for all. Or you can have like a 1 versus many, 6 versus 1 player mode, which you're playing against the chef, and he's trying to eliminate all of you. And then there's also a equal team mode. So if you have 2v2 or 3v3.
Here I was thinking that in the board game world, something like a Nemesis or a Final Girl was the most horrifying game out there. I feel like
Falling into
DeVere
a
just
frying
made
pan.
this one
Yeah.
shoot to the top for me, because that is a terrifying theme. I'm looking at this board cover, right? This game cover. And at first I was like, oh, that's kind of a cute little, you've got
they're
potatoes, tater
terrorized.
pox, tater tots and onion rings and things all just kind of like about to get fried. And there's sentient people looking to survive, and you're just trying to put them in a vat of oil. This is horrifying.
Yeah, they're terrified on that cover right there,
they
right?
are.
Yeah.
And it's funny when a player does get eliminated, they flip over their card and their player card that was placed by their starting spot. And it's like the burnt, crispy, totally fried version of their
Oh my gosh.
whatever
Do they have
are.
X's on their eyes and stuff? or-
I don't know, but I did laugh. One of the cards that brings you back to life. It's a hand sticking up out of the vat or out of the oil and grease, and there's a ring in it. And I was like, "That's awesome."
Oh, it's a Lord of the Rings
Yeah,
reference.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there it is, right there. And then there's another one with
Thumbs up.
See that's the fried version.
Okay.
All
yeah.
of our video listeners, watchers. out
All right. Well, they're still alive.
Yeah.
They're still alive. They didn't die.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
now they can be eaten though.
Oh, okay. Got
Which
it.
is a whole different. That's
There's levels of horror in this
yeah,
game.
Exactly. Now you've got a different
Can
set
fall in more than once, and then you get eaten.
And then you get eaten. Okay. All right.
I had a great time with this. It's a really fun twist on a tactical eliminating other players that plays pretty quick and just has a fun theme, I think.
Seems like a good
fun theme.
Fun theme.
I legitimately like this theme
Unique theme.
is disturbing. It's absolutely unique, and
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I like it. I like
it's-
the theme. Yeah.
We could have done this, and they could have done this in space somehow, and they came up
Yeah.
with it for a frying vat. I love it. Like,
I always-
find some random object or something in a kitchen or something. Okay, let's theme a game around it. I respect
I
that.
always appreciate new themes that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And not rehashing old things.
Yeah.
I
Being
I
unique, yeah.
I completely agree with that.
We should do an episode on that sometime. The most unique, random,
Oh, yeah.
themed games ever.
Okay.
Or at least
like it.
when they came out, they were, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
there's probably copycats of certain things.
Sure.
If it's good.
I don't
enough.
know if this will ever be.
I don't know that
copied.
there will be a copycat of this one.
Yeah.
So-
We'll have to table that one. Yeah.
That's Fritanga coming out this year from Devere, and I had a great time with it. I look forward to playing it at higher player counts.
Yeah. It seems like a good big game night game.
Absolutely.
To check out.
Yeah.
Well, I think that wraps up what we're talking about this episode. And let's move into our alpha bracket kind of tournament here. And just to give a idea of what this is for those who are maybe not familiar or didn't hear the last episode where we talked about it, or you haven't seen it in our Discord, which, by the way, if you want to participate in future ones of these, join our Discord so that you can participate and fill out brackets. Because essentially what we've done is we've selected games in the letters of the alphabet. In this episode, it's going to be A through D. And we've each selected a number of games that we nominated as the best games of that letter that we've played. Each of us, Tyler, Kevin, and myself, have gone through and selected these games. When we all agreed they all ended up on our list, they immediately entered the bracket. If there were only two of us that selected it, they got entered if there was space for them still. And then if there was not enough spaces filled up in the bracket, then we would get the person who had the fewest games selected gets put into the bracket selection. So we created these brackets and we posted images of them on our Discord so that all of our listeners in our Discord could go ahead and vote on these to see and fill out their own brackets. So if you're listening along and you'd like to hit pause and you haven't done this yet and you just want to do it for fun without doing the contest side of it, go ahead and hit pause, go fill out the bracket, and you can follow along with how we're making the predictions of this. So I think
We came up with 8 total for each bracket.
8 for each
Correct.
bracket.
So
Yep.
A has its own bracket, B has its own bracket.
C and D.
Yep.
All have their own bracket.
So we'll go through each of those and we'll discuss those games. And we'll do this in real time where between the three of us, we have yet to see what each other has picked. And we'll see who advances in the bracket. We'll discuss the games, kind of give our reasoning why we think they are good, why they should win,
Or
etc.
why you guys are wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
So we'll start with the letter A, I
Yeah,
think,
let's
right?
do it. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 8 games. The first pairing is Aeon's End versus Acquire.
This is an easy choice.
So
Am I right?
Aeon's End is
Cooperative-
boards and studio cooperative deck builder. That how you the order you discard your cards is the order that your deck is going to be in the next round.
Yep. And also another little twist of this one
the
is
Nemesis deck.
Oh, the Nemesis. Yeah. So you have the Nemesis that you're going up against. It's very much a game of I feel like I am totally going to lose, and then I come back and win at the last minute. That type of game. Plus, it's variable turn order, which I think is an awesome part of this game. Right? You don't know when your turn's coming up,
Or when
which
the Nemesis is
or
coming
when the
up.
Nemesis comes
That
up.
is cool.
I
I like that.
absolutely love
Yeah.
that about this game.
Acquire is a game of high finance from the 60s and Sid Saxon and
Can I just say this is one of Tyler's favorite, and
Right.
rightfully so. I understand why it's a favorite. It's also designed by Sid Saxon,
Yes.
who I think, if for nothing else, deserves amazing recognition because, like you said,
Yeah.
this was designed
He was ahead of
decades
his
ago,
time.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And this
Yeah.
game, it holds up to today. It's a phenomenal game. I think it's worth mentioning. So I think you would do it shame if you tried not to give that recognition that it deserves.
yeah,
A little foreshadowing of what's coming, I think.
yeah, I
here.
don't even know who designed Aeon's End.
Yeah, exactly.
And Nick Little and Jenny Iglesias.
and Kevin Riley.
Kevin Riley. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to reveal our votes. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. The winner is Acquire.
Oh,
Knew how that one was going to
So,
play out because you've never even played it.
I've never played
And
Aeon's
you
End.
hate cooperative
I
games.
do not
And this
enjoy
is like
cooperative
your favorite game of all time. So there you go.
I mean, this is why I love board games. Is
Yeah.
Acquire.
So,
So Kevin
what a shame.
voted for Aeon's End, which I believe was your you got to submit it as your last one. Right?
Yeah, I did get.
You filled the last spot because we had more that made the.
And I
cut.
think I made the comment of
Well,
which
that-
loser should I pick?
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And thinking back on this, what is the deck builder that I'm drawing a blank that's perfect on like tablets and starts with an A?
Ascension.
And
I
missed Ascension. And I probably would have put Ascension in
And I
instead
probably
of
would have
Aeon's
agreed with
End,
Ascension on
and
that
you
one.
may have picked Ascension
Now,
instead of
I don't,
Acquire, right?
and that's the thing is that I don't think just because you're the only person who voted on a game, does that guarantee that
It does not.
I didn't
I agree.
vote for Acquire, right? Like it was not on my list.
It does. Yeah, it does not.
Oh,
mean
no,
that
it was
for
on
sure.
my list.
I think it was on your list, but yeah, but Ascension may have had a better chance of moving on.
I think so.
And yeah, but that's all right. Anyway,
right.
then.
I-
Okay.
Okay, so the next pairing is Apiary from Stonemaier and Azul. Two fantastic games.
Yes, they are good games.
Apiary is Space Bees and
Talk about unique themes.
Yes.
Right?
Right, absolutely. We were just talking about this, right? Like with Fritanga, right? This was a theme that I remember when this was announced, and it like through Stonemaier's newsletter, I was like, "What is this? Like it's bees
Yeah.
in space?"
And I immediately wanted to play it. Right?
It sucked me in.
And
It's
the
like,
art was fantastic. It just kind of drew you in. Unfortunately, the box is much better than the actual art in the game. I think, right?
I agree with that.
There was a little bit of a missed
and
opportunity
I
there. We
think
talked about that.
We talked about that in episode 54 when we did Apiary as a feature review.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
I do think it is a meaty game that has a lot to offer. I don't know that it's one of Stonemeier's. Like it's not Scythe to me, and it's not like
I don't even think Scythe
Tapestry.
anymore,
Yeah, but like
kind
I
of
think
fallen from grace a little bit, but yeah.
a little bit. But
but
I
I know I get what you're saying.
like
yeah.
it wasn't of all of the Stonemaier games I've played. It's not the one that was like out the gate. I'm just like floored by it. I liked it a lot. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Azul, on the other hand, revolutionary game, I think. Like it, as far as abstracts go.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best abstracts. I've
Absolutely.
And one of the best gateway games you could put in front of a new gamer.
Yep. And surprisingly mean.
Yeah.
The hate drafting potential in there.
The hate drafting, but it's not like, we've talked about this before. It's mean, and you're like, that made sense. You stuck me with 8 blue tiles that I have to break, right? It's like, okay.
Well,
you
and
know?
production value for being like, this is a target store like game, right? The production value of this, the tile pieces are really good.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
fantastic.
everything that's set up, it's got a nice organization in the base game alone. Like I think this game has a lot to offer as being an abstract game.
Agreed. Let's vote.
All right, let's
do
vote.
it.
Everybody, 1, 2, 3. And the winner is
Azul.
So
That's surprising to me.
Kevin and I voted for Azul. Tyson voted for Apiary. For me, this was the hardest decision in the A games.
And I'm surprised that
really
you
wanted to go with Apiary,
Yeah.
but I cannot discount how
The impact
good
that Azul has,
and the impact that Azul has
Yep.
had. And as I feel like I don't know that we've mastered Azul, but as we've gotten better and better, some of the game nights where we've busted out Azul around the table have been some of the most enjoyable gaming experiences that we've had with an abstract game.
Yeah.
And I knew I
completely agree.
lost, right? Like I even
You
in my
thought that-
prediction bracket, I knew that Azul moves on.
I was this close to picking Apiary because I really do love Apiary, but I can't discount how much fun I've also had playing Azul.
If I'm picking it though, like if it's game night and Azul gets put on the table or Apiary, like that was how I decided.
You're picking
right?
Apiary over
I'm picking
Azul?
Apiary over Azul.
I mean, pick that too because I've played Azul 150 times, but
yeah.
but I don't think that necessarily makes it a better game.
I don't think it does either, but I like again that's how I was choosing me, right? Like I'm at this point, like, do I think
You thought I was going to pick Apiary.
I thought you were going to pick Apiary because I know you're a big fan of Apiary. It broke your soul slightly when I sold my copy, right? So I was I was thinking you were going to pick that, and
Yeah.
I picked that one to advance in my bracket.
I think they're both
Right.
They're worthy
Of advancing,
games of
yeah.
advancing
Yeah.
either of them for whatever reason.
well, that's what makes this fun. Is there's tough decisions.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you don't.
Well,
know.
and that's the other thing we should note. These were randomly seeded, right? So like we didn't choose.
There's some unfair.
yeah, there's some
Like comparisons, like no, this is not
we
right.
could be more concise on and maybe not spend
Yeah.
as much time
Yeah.
talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now we have Acquire versus Azul, and I don't think we need to say anything more than we've already said. These are both fantastic games.
Yes.
Some of them were life-altering and some of them weren't. All right. I'm mark, set, go. Boom!
Hey,
Azul is the
Azul
winner.
wins. Azul's the winner.
Okay, so I voted for Acquire,
Nice.
and Kevin and Tyson were wrong.
That is not the case.
Don't get me wrong.
Not
I
at all.
voted for Acquire in the first round because I think Acquire is a great
When
game.
I saw the bracket, I was like, "There's a chance that Tyson might help me get Acquire."
Might
to
help
the-
me. Oh my gosh.
get Acquire to the finals.
But
Well, I'm
knew
glad it did
Apiary
not.
wasn't going to win, and I think Azul is an amazing game. And
Yeah.
they both, I think, have really big impacts on the
I mean,
industry.
Yeah.
nobody's going to be mad that Azul went through, right?
No.
I mean, that's a great game.
No.
All right, let's
I
go
mean,
to
yes,
the other.
yes, it is.
Let's go to the other.
All right,
side.
the other side, we've got Arkham Horror, the card game, versus Anachrony.
Oh my gosh,
This was one of the
this is
hardest
hard.
decisions, right?
This is so hard. Okay. So Arkham Horror, it's one of the most thematic games that I have ever played.
Absolutely.
Campaign style, cooperative. Just I can still see in my mind some of the scenarios that we played, and the things that happened in those games. Like if you can remember years later about a specific game and what happened in that game, that's a good game,
Being
right?
shot by your,
Yes,
your
exactly.
partner. Or,
I played this first solo on my own, and I remember that experience. And this was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? Like it was a long time ago that I played that, and I was like, that was an amazing solo experience.
Yes.
And then I felt that same excitement about Arkham Horror, the card game, when we ended up playing it collectively.
Yeah.
And like the thematic experience, this game is phenomenal, and I love it.
Yeah, it's just tough to get to the table. That's the only problem. It's
the hardest part
It's
about it.
hard to get to the table.
Yeah.
and then Anachrony.
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow,
What do you say about,
amazing?
Yeah.
Amazing.
We've had multiple episodes discussing Anachrony at length, right? We love Anachrony, and for me, my wife bought this game for me.
You have an emotional attachment.
I have an
to this
emotional
game.
attachment to
Yes.
this game, and I didn't know anything about it. I get it. I play it, and it was the first really kind of deeper worker placement game that I had played. I'd played a couple of them here and there, but this one I really got sunk into, and I remember thinking, this is what board games can be. This is crazy. It's a phenomenal game.
Plus, putting specialized workers in
Yes.
exosuits. Who doesn't love that? Right?
And all the fun we've had exploring all the expansion content.
the expansion just takes it to another level.
Yeah.
So
phenomenal game.
let's vote here.
Are we
All
ready?
right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
The winner is
Anachrony. We all picked it.
Unanimously.
We all picked it.
Yep.
It was tough.
It really was, because I felt like this was one of the most unfair pair-ups, because I feel like both should have advanced at least a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, I feel like if I had more plays of Arkham Horror, I may have picked it. But I just still feel like I don't understand the rule set enough. Going back to it, I would have to relearn it all over again.
Yeah.
And that's my only kind of hang up with it.
But
But
the deck building is
Yeah.
a little bit tricky.
It is, and it's tedious if you have to go relearn everything. But when you know it, that deck building is one of the best experiences with it too.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
all right, the next pairing is Ankh versus Acropolis. So Ankh, Gods of Egypt, from Simon and Eric Lang, one of the best area control
Absolutely.
games out there.
Good. It's a good one.
Dudes on a map kind of game, right?
Yep.
Individual powers and gods and,
And way too much content to ever get through.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But
The merging,
The merge mechanic that's such a
controversial.
mechanic.
Yeah.
which it's awesome.
I love it. Yeah.
No, it's not bad at all.
And then you got Acropolis, a pretty interesting abstract tile laying
Pretty
game
abstract,
where
yeah.
you're trying to score based on different colored features that score in different ways.
But
and
three-dimensionally,
three-dimensionally,
You're trying
get
to stack,
more
yes.
and more points, like number 9 as you stack your city with tiles. Open drafting, fantastic little abstract game.
It's a fun
I've had a
game.
ton of fun.
And I played
with that
it
one.
a number of times, and like every time it's been fun.
Great BGA implementation.
Absolutely.
Lot of fun with that one.
Should we reveal our picks then?
Oh, last minute change, Tyler. Last minute change. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Ankh.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ankh won. Kevin was the dissenting vote with Acropolis.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
You lost favor with Ankh.
It's the same thing for me. If I had both games in front of me, what do I want to play tonight? I'm probably going to want to play Acropolis. That's just me. That's what I'm going to want to do. But
I love
both are fantastic games.
Both are fantastic. It was interesting. I would have liked to have seen maybe some different pairings there,
Yeah,
but I felt like
if you had put Ankh
like
with-
Acropolis with Aeon's End,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
even with Azul, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we still would have known the outcome there, but yeah, it's a great game. I love playing it on BGA. It's fantastic.
All right. Next matchup, Anachrony
semifinal
against Ankh.
So again, these are both great games, and I enjoy both of them very much. They're very different styles of game, though, right?
Oh, they're very different style.
Yeah. You got the Euro and the dudes on the map.
I love aggression.
Both of them are behemoth.
You do. You like to...
I love aggression, and I think
I think you're misleading a little bit.
I think aggression is one of my favorite things. But this group,
there's
doesn't like it
aggression
as
in
much.
Anachrony. You
for
wait
sure.
in my spot.
For sure, there is.
That's so aggressive of you. My.
Well, it was blinking.
aggressive.
There's even more. Like
blinking?
There is more.
Okay.
Of that, right?
Oh, you
That's
freed
it.
up my spot.
Are we ready?
All right, ready?
1, 2, 3.
Anachrony.
Oh, Anachrony moves
wins.
on.
by 2.
I was the lone vote for Ankh. Fantastic games. Can't go wrong with either one of them.
Agreed.
And that's, we're at the cream of the crop for us, right?
Yeah.
All right, we got
The final pairing
one
of
left
A's.
for the A's. It is Azul and Anachrony.
Could not be different games.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
It's hard when you get like
How do you compare
such
these two,
different
right?
games. Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you compare these kinds of games and what they offer?
I'm going to go ahead and fill in the winner right now on our bracket.
He's that confident. Huh?
Yes.
All right. So 1, 2, 3.
Anachrony. Unanimous.
Yep.
All right, so Anachrony is the winner.
I don't think Tyler even looked at everybody's cards before he
was,
said that's what it was.
Any notable A games missing?
Just what I mentioned.
Ascension would've been a good choice,
I should have picked
absolutely.
Ascension over Aeon's End. That may have made
I'm
a bigger. You've never played Ascension though, right, Tyler?
No, I'm sure there's listeners out there who are saying, "Where's
Agricola. Yeah, I thought about adding Agricola, but I knew you guys really hadn't played it. right?
No, I
And,
haven't played it much at all.
and it,
or at all.
that one has a soft spot for me because I played it a ton right when it came out,
And there-
way back in the day.
There were a lot of games that we had considered, right? Like we all chose our individual ones for what we had, but like for me, I think that some of the ones that got left off for me was Arcs. I think Arcs is a phenomenal game.
That wouldn't have made it far.
But I knew it would have gone far. But that's with this group. I think Arcs is great and deserved to be in the brackets, but whatever. You guys are lame.
All right,
fair
going
enough.
on to the B games. Our first pairing, Bonanza
And
versus Betrayal at House on the Hill, editions 1 through 3.
yeah,
Any of them.
the betrayal game,
Additions,
period,
one through-
right?
Yeah.
Does this? I mean, any betrayal, Baldur's Gate, right? Like,
No,
just
vanilla Betrayal. No legacy, just that's how I
Betrayal was one of the first games I played getting into the hobby, and it was really an exciting game for me to see so many different game types in the same box, so that every time I brought this game out, I had a different experience with it. That was like I again, similar to what I said with Anachrony, it kind of opened my eyes to what board games could be, and that was really cool for me.
Yeah, despite some broken scenarios.
Absolutely.
And stuff that
There-
didn't
it
really
is
work in
not
that
a
game.
perfect game
Yeah.
by any means.
Yeah, but no, sorry. Bonanza is kind of the same for me, though. That was one of the games that I first got into and played. And the fact that, okay, you get your hand of cards and it is what it is, and you can't, reorganize them, and you got to make do. And,
You're planting the beans and trying to score
money.
and it's a game about beans, and the art is fun and everything.
the art is awesome. And it's Uwe Rosenberg.
Well, and
Yeah.
one side of the card is your beans, and the other side is the points itself, right? Like, and
Yep.
how you use the card. Because up to that point, I was like, the back of the card is always just a back of the card, right? There is no there's no actual like experience that it adds to the game at all. But it was like the coin counting system, right? Instead of having tokens, you use the back of the card to count.
This one's
cool.
nostalgic for me too.
Yep.
My wife and I, we were talking the other night, and she was saying, man, I kind of miss some of those original games that we played
Agreed.
back when we had no money and we had a few games and
It was just simple, right?
Yeah. Bonanza was right there, 2005 for us. And I don't know. It was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And that yellow box is very distinct. And
I think I still have expansions that are on my shelf of shame from like 15 years ago, but
For Bonanza?
yeah.
Like there's like a high bone expansion or
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
there's like the Bonaparte one, the
Yeah.
Napoleon one.
I am the same boat. I
Yeah.
think I have that and I've never played it.
so should we vote then on Betrayal or Bonanza? Let's
do it.
Oh, I got to
Oh, wait.
Sorry. Whoa.
Jumping the gun here.
All right, ready?
And the winner is
Bonanza.
Tyson was the only
was
betrayal.
Betrayal.
vote. Yep.
I still think that should have won.
I like Betrayal, but every once in a while you get a dud of a game, and then it's like, well, that wasn't fun.
Yeah, and then when the haunt comes and it's the one person that has to go read, and
But
I've had a
traitors
few like when you're teaching
Where it's-
people and it's like it
The
doesn't
game
go.
gets broken, or it's completely lopsided one way, but still a great design. I mean,
Agreed.
It's been
Agreed.
been around forever.
and it creates experience.
It's okay. You guys can be wrong, but
All right,
I don't foresee Bonanza making it to the end, so I'm not that concerned.
I don't know. We'll see. We got kind of a lightweight bracket over here on the B side.
That's right.
We've got Beast versus Bonsai. Bonsai, you're building card drafting, and you're taking corresponding wooden pieces and leaves and fruit and flowers and building a bonsai tree. Very
peaceful Zen game.
Yeah,
Very
just-
relaxing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It almost ends too quickly, in my opinion.
Could, yeah, for sure. And then Beast.
Tyson.
But then you've got Beast, right, on the other side, which is completely
relaxing.
the opposite. You are stressed out of your mind if you're
Murder
trying-
and intrigue and
It's a one versus many game where one of you is the beast, the others are the hunters trying to kill the beast. There's a lot of variability in the game. It's gorgeous artwork and like
Very pretty. Very pretty.
The collaborative play when you're on the hunter side is really exciting, where the stress of being caught and found as the beast is really interesting. I don't know. I think that this game has. I'm still waiting on some of the second Kickstarter's content for it, and I think that this is a game I would love to get more plays of.
All right.
ready?
Let's do it. Let's
The
vote.
winner is
Bonsai.
no surprise there.
Tyson was the only Beast vote.
Yeah.
So
Again,
Bonsai moves on.
All right. We've now got Bonsai and
Bonanza.
to make it to the final.
This is a fun bracket. I like it.
Yeah. If you had upsets in any bracket, I feel like it's going to be this one.
It could be. All right. Next pairing.
I don't even know what to do.
All right. We got Bonanza and Bonsai.
Again, this one's trickier for me because I didn't vote for either of these games to advance. So, yeah, we'll see.
Oh, my goodness. This is tough.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Ready?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
The winner is
Bonanza!
unanimously. Bonanza. I was surprised. I actually thought at least one of you would vote for Bonsai.
I went for my nostalgia vote.
That's kind of what I went for, too. I think they're both great games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we're on the other side of the bracket, right?
Yep. So we
So we
got,
got Beyond the Sun and Bitoku are our next tricks, or next games.
Beyond the Sun is an interesting game in that this is a tech tree only game. It's not the most beautiful game, but it is an interesting mechanical experience. If you like tracks, this game is amazing for like going up tracks, right? Tech trees, track scaling.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
It is interesting to me. Both of these games have board progression from one side to the other. Beyond the Sun, left to right. Bitoku, bottom to top.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love Beyond the Sun how when you get to the next part of the tech tree, you get to choose and help build what that tech tree is. And you can pick cards that are according to your strategy, right? Which I think it's a very unique game, and it's a type of game I haven't played before.
Well, they both use dice or cubes in interesting new ways, right?
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
The resources for Beyond the Sun using the cubes, and then Bitoku being
making
a dice
people
placer,
pay
placement.
more to because you put a higher
making
die
it more
value.
expensive,
Yes, yeah.
where you place it, worker placement style. These both have some really interesting, unique experiences to them.
All right, let's do it.
So let's see.
I think I know how
And the
this
winner
is
Bitoku.
That's what I thought.
And Kevin was the only one to have voted for Beyond the Sun.
And that could be because I haven't played Bitoku as much as you guys have played, right? I have one play of that game. I played a lot of Beyond the Sun, and
I've definitely played more Beyond the Sun. I feel like Bitoku has a little bit more for me to still explore.
Agreed.
And
there's
it's just
expansion content
beautiful,
still.
and the expansion is really good, supposedly.
I have the expansion for Beyond the Sun, so there's some to explore there too.
You got Beyond the Horizon now as well. That we haven't even looked
What's
at.
your interest level with that?
I got a lot of games.
Yeah. For me, Beyond the Sun, it's a great game, but the aesthetics of it really detract for me. And
it's an ugly game. There's no getting around it.
And I just haven't been pulled into it the way I want to.
I'm not mad at Bitoku Advance.
It is a funny comparison art-wise.
It really is.
Bitoku's this masterpiece. And
like
Beyond the Sun's
busy board, right?
Looks like a bracket from March Madness.
It does. It looks like the bracket I'm looking at right now.
All right. So our next pairing is Blood Rage versus Blockus.
I don't know how much farther apart on the theme spectrum you get than these.
Talk about another nostalgia pick. For me anyway, with Blockus, right?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't as straightforward as you may think.
No.
I mean, I don't know.
I just played Blockus for
it's great.
the millionth time, right?
Right.
With my kids.
Yeah, Kaden loves Blockus.
It's so good. And even playing with my kids, they're just really enjoying it. From my 3-year-old, right, all the way up to my 7-year-old, they all are interested, and it is teaching them very interesting things,
right,
while still engaging me.
And the tactile feel of the pieces and placing them on the board. Also, the tactile feel of the pieces in Blood Rage. This was one of the first games that I got that had amazing miniatures.
Yes.
And I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. I absolutely love it.
You can't replace that experience.
No.
And every time I've played Blood Rage, right, there is so much interesting things going on, different ways and styles to play. I loved the drafting in this game.
Yeah,
I loved the different monsters and things like that.
And their abilities when they come out.
And it changes how you're playing, or the Loki strategy versus the Thor strategy, right? There's so much in this game. That's
and
really
stopping the opponent. If you know they're going for the Loki strategy, you've got to stop them.
Exactly.
They're going to run away.
They're going to run away. Absolutely.
All right, are we ready?
Yep. And the winner is Blood Rage.
No surprise there.
Yeah.
I voted for Blockus.
Yes.
Okay, we've got Bitoku and Blood Rage.
Both are great games, and I am a big fan of both of them.
I think I know how this is going to play out, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure whatever comes out of this side of the bracket is going to win over Bonanza. I could be wrong, but
that's what I'm feeling. But
there we go.
We'll see.
Right.
The winner is Blood Rage.
Oh, dang it.
I feel like I was the deciding vote there on that one.
I think you absolutely were. I voted for Bitoku.
I probably wasn't going to vote for Bitoku.
No.
I don't know. You never know.
I love both of those games, so it was,
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Blood Rage versus Bonanza.
Again, almost like Blood Rage versus Blockus, right? Where the difference is extreme.
I mean, I don't know.
All right, you ready?
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
The winner is Blood Rage. Kevin said I don't know it. It made me real nervous there for a second.
For the record,
Well, Bonanza's great, right?
is.
It's a good game.
I voted against Blood Rage in every vote and lost every vote.
But I would have felt so bad if
why
one
the
of my
Blood-
favorite games lost to Bonanza.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Why the Blood Rage hate?
I personally like Ankh much more. I've never played it on the table. My experiences are limited to 6 or 7 BGA games, and I think it loses something having only played it on the table.
I think
for
that's
me.
absolutely
I
true.
think
I mean, only on BGA.
Yeah, I think that should have been played on the table to start.
Yeah.
It just has to be on
Yeah,
the table.
and I've got expansion content on it that I haven't played. I got the insert. Come on.
Okay, I did Stormlight Archive before Mistborn, right?
Yep.
Stormlight Archive is my favorite. Mistborn can never replace that. I feel like
Same
similarly
type of,
with
yeah.
Ankh, even if I loved Blood Rage, Ankh has created so many amazing memories.
I think that's
And
probably true of almost any in that series, right? Like if you started with Rising Sun, that's going to be your favorite, or if you started with Blood Rage or Ankh, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and you loved
could
one
be.
of them.
Could
be.
Could be.
All right, so Blood Rage wins the B bracket.
Okay. The C bracket's hilarious,
I love
especially the first
The
pick.
first,
Okay, I'm pulling
first
it up.
round
Pulling it
lineup.
up. Okay,
we mentioned at the beginning of this that there were some unusual, perhaps even unfair pairings of games.
This could be the most unfair
This may
pairing.
be the most unfair pairing.
thematically
and experientially for
and
us.
weight wise,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have Cthulhu Death May Die. It's one of our favorite games. There's
Most
no-
talked about games
most
on the
talked
podcast, probably.
And then we have Cockroach Poker.
Yep.
Also a fantastic
Also talked
game.
about a lot. We have talked about
We
this one a
have,
lot.
we have.
Yeah. We don't need to say much more about Cthulhu Death May Die, do we?
No,
No.
It's a great game. It's a cooperative game that I like, which
is crazy.
yeah.
Cockroach poker, you're bluffing, and one person at the table loses, and
That is
everybody
something-
else wins.
It's so
I love
funny.
good bluffing games, and this one is a great bluffing game.
Yeah.
And the fact right there that everybody is just like, I don't want to be the loser in this game makes it super interesting.
Yeah, and the one time when you lost like 3 times in a
Yeah,
row.
shut up.
Have you guys ever played Cheating Moss?
Yeah, I've
It's on
talked
my
about
shelf
it.
of shame.
I've talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played it.
I remember that.
You do remember that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that game's pretty fun.
It's kind of the sister to Cockroach Poker, at least art and packaging wise.
It is.
I feel like we're
Absolutely.
delaying the inevitable.
Yeah,
yeah,
Like,
okay,
like
here we
we're
go.
prolonging the
And
death
the winner
of
is
something here.
Cockroach Poker. Oh no.
All right. Death May Die advances. Okay. In this bracket, I like this selection.
This is a good
We
pairing.
have Johnny Pack's Coloma versus Cartographers. And I made a little bit of a reference to some disdain. That's because I backed Coloma and the new expansion.
You
and
did.
apparently printing a game 2 years later, along with a small expansion, was overcome by events and apparently
Final Frontier went the way of the earth.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. The wind
Unfortunately.
blew in the wrong direction, and the House of Cards fell over. Johnny Pack's an amazing designer.
Absolutely.
This Coloma is an amazing game. It's been a long time since I played it because I've been waiting for a copy of it.
I will say I was eagerly awaiting your new copy of it with the new content.
Just rubbing it in.
And that, like, hearing the news of Final Frontier, I ended up not backing this one.
I remember,
specifically
yeah.
because Tyler
Good choice.
backed it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess we don't need more than, because Ben already has a copy of this in the group, so we
does.
can still play it. But I was like, I'm not gonna back it if Tyler's gonna get a copy.
Yeah.
Well,
some sad.
it's a phenomenal game.
Sad
and
moments
I
there.
love what's going on in the game.
So, and then Cartographers is a flip and write in the role player world from. Why can I think of their
Thunderworks.
Thunderworks.
from Thunderworks Games. Different maps, and there's a bunch of different map styles that you can buy as expansion decks, and
It's a great flip and write.
it's a great flip and write. Some people like the element of when you have to pass your map to
That did not
adjacent.
go over well with my family.
It did not go over well with my family, but you do pass the map sometimes to draw monsters on other people's maps. doing negative points to their map. And more than anything, I think in my wife's case, I ruined how beautiful her map was with my terrible art. Which is why she bought me cartographer stamps for Christmas one year.
Which is got to be a perfect gift for Tyler.
That's hilarious.
Well, should we vote on this one then?
Let's do it.
Ready? And the winner is
Cartographers.
You said that before you read everything.
It is cartographers. Wait a minute. Why did you not vote for Coloma?
I think Cartographers is a fantastic flip and write game. I love the experiences that I've had with the other map decks or whatever. The variability in some of the rules. Coloma, I haven't played for so long, and there is a small part of me that had a hard time disassociating the pain that I feel over losing 100.
He's got some bitter butt hurt feeling.
Yeah, little
not against Johnny Pack.
No.
Which
I could dissociate that entirely. Also,
because
I didn't lose $100+.
Yeah, but like the designer has no control generally once they hand over the game, unless they're an in-house designer. They don't have any control over what the publisher does with the
I just had better experiences with cartographers than I had with Coloma. I remember some really fun games with cartographers. And Coloma was fun, but it just a better experience with cartographers.
And playing cartographers online is super easy and a really good time.
See, I still think I'm undefeated in Coloma, so that might be also why I voted yours. For Coloma, right?
There you go. Okay. All right. So we got Cthulhu Death May Dive versus another lightweight cartographers.
And let's vote.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Cthulhu Death May Die.
Okay, on the other side, we've got another Sid Saxon game.
Again, same argument to be had here. Sid Saxon, we're talking about his game still after all this time.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great.
I think it's phenomenal. It's a very lightweight game, and I
Can't Stop. One of the best push your luck games of all time.
I've played this game more than any other game, I think.
Some of the experiences that I've had in this game are amazing. Like the one time we were playing, first turn, I almost got all three to the top. It was the last roll, and I busted on the last roll. But it was so exciting, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Great experiences with this game. And then Clans of Caledonia it's paired up against.
Yeah, this is one of my number ones for a long time. It fell out of my number one spot of all time.
Still top 10
recently, but still top 10s.
Yeah, I love this
still
game.
Love the market, love the just the puzzle that is this game. And every time I play it, it's a blast.
Yeah, and another one that I'm hoping the Kickstarter
doesn't fail.
Delivers soon.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And the winner is Clans of Caledonia.
Have you played Clans yet?
I have played Clans multiple times on
just
BGA.
on BGA.
And it's the same experience that Tyler's just basically mentioned with Blood Rage.
You should play this one on the table first.
I haven't loved it, but I love Can't Stop.
All right. I hate this next pairing. hate.
I know, this is such a hard decision to make on this one.
Let's tell them what it is. It is Clank Catacombs versus Concordia Venus.
These are amazing games.
Both these games are just phenomenal games.
And we've played both of these fairly recently, too.
Yes, Tyson and I played Concordia, I don't know, maybe a month ago, right? And just was reminded of how streamlined, how amazing this game is. The action selection mechanic is awesome.
And it's done stuff that has created other games to mimic what it's done, right? Like it has created different mechanisms in it that allows other people to create similar things and build from it. But it's still, all those times that people have built off of it, hasn't replaced the original need for it. Like it's similar to like Dominion to me, right? Like you can still play Dominion and get a ton of value out of the base game of that, while there are thousands of other deck builders that do a great job.
It's an evergreen in my mind.
Yep, for sure. And that's how I feel about Concordia.
Yep.
And then you got Clank
Catacombs. Clank Catacombs, the best version of Clank, in my opinion.
I think all the versions of Clank are amazing. This one, of all the ones I've played, is I have only played Legacy one time, and I haven't gone through the campaign at all. But of that experience, which is very minuscule. I still think Clank Catacombs is better because of the modularity, but I don't know if that means that that's going to develop into it. Tyler's probably have more experience than I do with that.
I am close to finishing Clank Legacy Season 1, and I don't know. I think I might like Clank Catacombs more.
Wow. Okay.
But it's been a great experience.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun. Maybe I'll talk about this at some point, but a little too much story and spending time not playing the game while you add more and more and more and more stickers.
But that's the good thing about Clank Catacombs, right? Is that there is not a lot of story, but there is emergent stories that come out of this.
Things that happen, yeah.
That time that Ben got trapped for like an hour on a part of the map and he could not escape.
I could have sent him to a place he never would have come back from.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt bad about that.
Yeah.
So I let him, come back.
And there was one time where I was stuck. We were playing the expansion at Cabin Con. I was trying to defeat Medusa, and I kept coming up one item
get
short,
into that
and I
room.
ended up dying. But I had the
Dead horse.
The horse that brought you back.
the robot donkey or something that took me back out, and so I still scored
You didn't
points.
lose entirely.
Yeah, that's
All
great.
right.
It's a great game. All right, I'm interested here.
Yep, this will
All
be
right,
good.
1, 2, 3.
The winner is
Clank.
I couldn't.
It was close.
I'm not mad about either one, but love Concordia.
I do too. It was
Tyler does not like it.
I had a bad couple of plays, and I've never. That was like 3 years ago, so I haven't gone back to Concordia. So
I think
I'm
it's
sure it's a
longer than 3
fantastic
years.
game. Yeah, it's probably been.
It's like
longer.
5 years.
Yeah, probably.
We've been playing games for a while.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Clans of Caledonia and Clank. And I think you have to write out the full words since these both start with clan.
Well, if you're, oh my gosh. Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
Clans
So
of
hard.
Caledonia versus Clank.
Oh, I know what one.
This
of us
is a tough
picking.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could go either way.
It comes down to Kevin's vote, I think, because we know where Tyson's going to go with it.
Yeah, we do.
It
Right.
comes down to both of your votes because we know where Tyson's going to go
This is
with
true.
it.
This is true.
Well, yeah, but yeah. All right. Ready?
There we go. 1, 2, 3.
Clans of Caledonia.
Clans is
I
moving
wanted
on.
Clans of
All right.
Caledonia.
This is, I think, the pairing that I predicted. Cthulhu Death May Die versus Clans of Caledonia. Oof. Oof.
It's tough.
Can I not vote?
You cannot vote, and then you both cannot vote, and I'll make the decision for what is going on here.
Oh, that's true. So
I think that whatever wins, these are both phenomenal games.
I feel
Not to me necessarily, but they're both good games.
I feel the same way about Clans as I do Acquire. I feel like Clans was my 2000 teens game of my childhood. Like, if that makes sense at all.
No,
Maybe it doesn't.
does.
But
There's an
the way that-
identity portion of Clans to you.
The way
Yeah.
that we were introduced to that game was amazing. Because
Yes.
I picked it up. I think I was at a convention, like a Comic-Con or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then we played it like 3 nights in a row.
my family was out of
Your
town.
family was out of
Mark was
town.
playing with us.
Yep. And it was such a fun experience. We were figuring the game out, but we were just blown away by the mechanics, and it was just so much fun.
But then Cthulhu's given us so many, both with our families
Collectively and- yes.
and as
Yes.
a game group,
Yep.
so many amazing experiences.
Let's vote.
Oh, hold on. Oh, I think
I know what this is going to be, but
Yeah.
I think so too. But
ready?
All right,
And the
1,
winner
2, 3.
is Cthulhu Death.
What? You did Clans over Cthulhu Death
I
May Die?
did. I love Clans. That's. I mean,
Wow.
I'm happy with either one.
That's surprising me. Well, Cthulhu is my number 1 game of all time, so it's
Yeah.
just for me it had to be that.
It's not mine, but it is one of the best, if not the best, C games that I've played.
And we'll see if Godzilla comes, but I'm excited for that potential. addition to the
Interestingly,
game.
I think the D games here, I think my prediction ended up being the same as my pick, but that may be just because I'm completely deluded and really like the stuff that I like.
Yeah, we'll see here. This will be interesting.
All right, so the D games. Oh, okay. Our first one is Dead Reckoning, deck builder / card crafting.
This is John DeClaire, right?
Area
Card
control,
crafting.
pick up and deliver, all kinds of mechanics rolled into this one versus
Cube tower stuff. Yeah.
pirate ship.
Pirate ship.
It is, we've said, the quintessential pirate game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Versus
the
The quintessential deck builder.
yeah, exactly.
The genre defining.
Yep.
Dominion. There
Which
you
is
go.
interesting. They're both deck builders.
They are both
right?
deck builders.
Yep. Which means that the heritage of Dead Reckoning comes from Dominion.
From Dominion.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So
Now, are we voting as if all 20 expansions were included of Dominion?
Oh, yeah.
Or,
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
All right.
but
Ready?
not with
But
Dead
I don't think
Reckoning, right?
it's going to matter for you guys.
Okay.
But okay, here we go.
All right. And the winner is
Yeah.
Dead
Reckoning.
Reckoning. I love
Sad.
Dominion, but I also think that, like, again, if I'm going to choose between the two, I'm going to play Dead Reckoning.
I
Yeah.
like Dominion. I have a couple of expansions. We obviously, I don't think like it as much as Kevin does.
Well, this is a nostalgia thing for me, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I've played every expansion. I've played, I think, almost every card in the game. Hundreds and hundreds of plays. It's just nothing's gonna be better than that experience for me. So that's,
Yeah.
if you don't have
It
that
is the
experience, then it is what it is.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your acquire, Tyler. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's-
That's that's basically
absolutely.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me.
All right. So Dead Reckoning moves on. In our next pairing, we've got Dice Throne, the system, versus Daybreak.
the cooperative.
Tag and stack.
I love the tag and stack mechanic. That
Save the Earth.
yeah, cooperative game.
This is the iteration on Pandemic, right? Like, it's like the Pandemic style cooperative, a pure cooperative game in which you collectively as a team are trying to beat the game out, right? And
It's got that cooperative design pedigree
it does.
with
Matt Leacock.
Matt Leacock, and we had an episode on there. We interviewed him. It was interesting to hear his thoughts on how he designed the game and the tag and stack mechanic and how you're building up all those tags, and then eventually that stack is not going to be viable anymore. You've done everything you can, and then you convert it to something else, it was just an interesting experience.
But then you
I
got
thought.
Dice Throne on the other side of
Yep.
this one, right? Which is basically Battle Yahtzee, right?
Yeah, and it's very thematic and
It's
fun
very
and
thematic.
cool. Yeah.
All right, are we ready?
All right.
Yeah.
There we
Okay.
go.
And the winner is Daybreak.
Yeah,
I
I knew.
figured. I voted for Dice Throne.
Knew Tyler wasn't going to go with that.
I know.
I like the tag and stack system. I didn't love that you could be playing awesome and someone else at the table could totally bomb their game and you all lose.
But there's ways
There are ways
to
to
mitigate that and help that person that is
But-
kind of bombing.
But why should we have to bail out China?
Well, because it is what cooperative means.
It's cooperative.
all
It's a
right?
cooperative game.
Yeah. All right.
And
Yeah.
if there's nothing better than that, is the quintessential cooperative game that all nations should be able to cooperate.
Yes,
should, if we all lived in a
avoid
hippie
World War,
world.
whatever.
Yep.
It comes down
All right.
to theme. It's
Yep.
all good.
All right. Here we
You're
go.
the cooperative lover here. Jeez.
Dead Reckoning versus Daybreak.
All right.
We're ready. One.
And the winner is Dead Reckoning.
Thank you, Tyson. Thank you.
The Daybreak hate. I just don't.
I love
just don't-
Daybreak.
I just don't
actually
get
really
it.
do. The fact that Daybreak was the game that I chose over a very aggressive game, right? Like Dice Throne is a very aggressive game, but Daybreak is a cooperative
a
game.
lot for
I
you.
don't like cooperative games usually.
Yeah.
It says a lot to me. So the fact that it went there, but then it paired up against Dead Reckoning, and for me, I love Dead Reckoning.
You like Dead Reckoning, that's for sure.
All right. We got a couple heavy hitters, but I think I know where this one's going to go. We've got Dune Imperium versus Distilled.
Yeah, big heavy hitters. Some favorites.
Should we
for
vote
everybody.
now? No, just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, we can.
No. They're both good games.
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Distilled. We've talked about Distilled.
Tyler loves
Dune Imperium
right?
is one of my favorites, even without the theme that I love. Yeah, Dune Imperium's awesome.
Yeah.
Distilled's fantastic. Paverson Games, Dave Beck gave us a copy. I think I was at
Origins.
Origins. I went to Origins, interviewed him, and then he surprised us with a copy, and that was fantastic.
And it was a game we would never have played otherwise, right? Like,
and we loved.
It's been a lot of fun.
One of the best solo implementations.
Absolutely.
Fantastic game with some great expansions, and a new one coming, I think, soon.
Yeah,
if crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Unless
Depending
it's,
on the temperature of all the
Of the-
delivery and logistics and everything,
Yes.
right? So,
Yep. So we're ready to vote.
Let's do it.
and the winner is
Distilled. I voted for Dune.
I was going to say, you said Dune, right, Tyler? You
Yeah, it said Dune Imperium. Distilled one. Okay. Dwellings of Elder Vale, Darwin's Journey. Some two beefy, long, great,
games.
These are big ones.
fantastic games.
with both of them having had a lot of interesting memories and
Yes.
experiences associated with them.
and,
Yeah, like-
and I think some sound effects would take Darwin's Journey to the next level.
With some bases that you could put
If I-
Darwin on or something.
So you get
Yeah.
the animal sounds when you collect an animal,
Or the,
ocean sounds.
ocean sounds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Or like traveling through, hacking through the jungles. Come on,
Tortoises crawling across the beach.
That would kick it up a notch for sure.
I need that. I need some dwellings implementation here. Level of technology.
Yeah, and I mean dwellings, the hats that you put on.
Oh yeah,
that
Yeah, your
hats.
Your
You said-
workers become buildings or houses,
right. They look
And,
like hats, but they could become buildings. That's pretty cool.
Hey, that was like
Novel.
right up there with the exosuits for me. So
yeah, I can see that actually.
I didn't mind that at all.
No,
Actually,
it was a fun experience.
Mark thought it was pretty terrible.
Mark hated it.
It was goofy,
He,
yeah.
like he was very vocal about hating
Yes,
it.
he was, which cracks me up.
Because he's not that vocal about many games.
No.
right? Yeah. The fact that he hated it means he hated it.
All right,
So between Darwin's Journey and Dwellings of Eldervale, the winner is
yep.
Darwin's Journey.
Okay.
I've just had
I-
more fun experiences with Darwin's Journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I voted for Dwellings. I would have been happy with either of these winning. Love both of these games.
Dwellings is fun. Yeah.
Similar to this pairing, Distilled versus Darwin's Journey, there's no Blockus in this bracket.
No, these are like
No, there is not. Okay. Distilled versus Darwin's Journey. Huh?
This is definitely a trickier one than the other one. We've had a lot of good experience with both of these games, similar to Dwellings, I guess, but like
I don't know. I don't know how this one's going to go.
this
Yeah.
will be interesting.
All right.
All right, ready?
And the winner is Darwin's
Journey.
Unanimously, Darwin.
All of
Wow.
us. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I like Distilled, but Darwin's Journey is definitely one of my favorite games.
That was a fun one.
It's a top 10 for me.
All right, we've got for the D letter games, we've got Dead Reckoning versus Darwin's Journey. I'm
think-
pretty sure I know where this is going.
I know
but-
where Kevin's going at least.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
And the winner
It comes down to you
is
guys.
Darwin's
Journey.
All right.
You picked Darwin's
I
Journey
did.
over Dead Reckoning.
Oh
huh?
yeah, for sure. I love Darwin's Journey. Dead Reckoning is a great game, and it is a great card crafting game. But it's not my favorite card crafting game. I haven't talked yet about what my favorite card crafting game is.
That is taking
So tune in.
taking the top spot, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is my favorite card crafting game for sure. I'll talk about that one in an upcoming episode.
Little bit of a teaser.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so just to recap, our winners of the Alpha bracket was Anachrony. Our winner of the B bracket was Blood Rage. Of C bracket, Cthulhu Death May Die.
Nice. Okay.
And the D bracket was Darwin's Journey. Now, once we eventually, we're still going to figure this out a little bit, but once we go through the entire alphabet, we're going to take the winners from the brackets and put them all together in one big ginormous bracket. And a couple of them might get buys because there's just so many ways you can dice up 26,
Right.
or even
Right.
if we added a couple more categories. But
yeah.
so yeah, that'll be a fun episode to work towards. But right now we've got our 4 winners for A through D. We're gonna
we may have to figure out something for, X, for example.
yes.
I mean, yeah. How many X games have we actually played?
or maybe we can. What if we? Well, we could talk about this later. But what if we combined like Q Z, and X.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
And maybe that gets into a more favorable
better
outcome count. But
yeah, we'll figure all that out, though.
yeah,
for sure.
So whoever was the most accurate that voted in our Discord or sent us an email with their picks is going to be getting a package of games.
Well done. Good job. You did it.
You've been a long-time listener, or you're really lucky.
Yeah.
Right. It's interesting, though, but if you have been a long-time listener, you may have a little bit of an advantage because you know the games that we like and maybe have some insight into what we might pick. Right?
Well, and again, go look at the Discord, see what people have voted on. We'll post our own prediction brackets in there as well. See if we even predicted ourselves correctly. There were some upsets here I did not see coming.
I predicted 3 correct winners. I was wrong on the B bracket. I thought Tyson would come through for me on Batoku.
I picked all correct winners.
Nice.
On all
I did
4.
as well.
Nice.
I did as well.
All right, so we'll post those. Yeah, so how it worked was whoever you get 1 point for picking the first round bracket of the bracket correctly, 2 points for the semifinals, and 3 points for picking the winner of each bracket. And so we accumulated all those points, and the winner is Saja with 31 points.
Yeah. All right. Way to go.
You did it.
Nice picking. Woo.
Again.
That's terrible.
Authentic.
That's really bad. But it could be so bad. It's good.
Outtakes. Yeah. Second place was a close tie for 29 points. Both Andrew J. and John P. got 29. Congrats to Saja. All right, so yeah, we had fun with this episode. Hopefully, if you enjoyed listening to this. This is different. We've done a draft or a bracket before a long, long time ago, but we're doing something new with this one, and we'll be doing some more soon.
And this won't be every episode.
We're gonna
this until we finish the alphabet, but this will be periodically between episodes.
Yeah, you might have to listen to 2026 to get to the final.
Yeah.
We'll see how long it takes. Right?
Yeah.
The problem is what games get added to the bracket that should have been added in the first place.
We got.
As we play
new games,
right?
Yeah. Oh, we gotta do this timely.
Yeah.
Any new game we get has to be later in the alphabet from now on.
Yep.
That's it. We can't get any A games or any B games.
That's a U game.
Oh, hey, there you go. Yeah.
All right. So new brackets are coming out soon. Check out our Discord. Link is in our show notes. Thanks for listening.
Until next time.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Longest Turn Board Gaming Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you want more Longest Turn in your life, please check us out on Instagram. Also, be sure to check us out on Board Game Geek, where you can join our guild, Guild 3947, and check out our blog, where we post all our show notes and occasionally post more detailed reviews. If that's not enough for you, we have a Discord server. If you want to play a game with us on Board Game Arena, join our Board Game Arena group, The Longest Turn. Until next time, thanks for listening.
Tot ziens.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Yeah. Let's flush the toilets. Hold on a second.
Was there toilet flushing?
There's about to be.
Momentary pause for a word from our sponsors while we flush the toilets. Tidy Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Comet.
With every flush, a new scent that is pleasant.
All right.
Whatever. Yeah.
Brackets. AlphaBracketology.
AlphaBracketology. We pick games A through D. Listen.
Lord of the Rings.
Welcome.
Oh, we're starting.
Oh,
Okay.
So I'm gonna edit the episode, and then we're gonna record a small blurb later announcing the winner.
do you want to do like our excitement? Hey, congratulations, kind of the thing now, or do you want to just and then just say like, and then say, hey, insert whatever, like
edit it
really awkward.
Yeah, really badly.
well done,
Well done.
Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
What a fantastic job! You did it! You did it,
Yeah, exactly like that.
Billy.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations!
Nice job. Nice job.
That was a good prediction because
We
we
actu-
didn't even get that good. I don't think.
Yeah.
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 Yeah.